Okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into some source material that really gets to the core of something vital for businesses now,
Mm-hmm.
creating authentic video content, the kind that actually, boosts growth.
Absolutely. We've got two main documents in front of us, both related to this Authentic Video Growth Accelerator workshop by Ludi and Estes. One's a detailed outline, the other's more of a program description.
I think of them as our guides.
Exactly, our roadmap into his thinking.
And our goal here is really to pull out the key insights. We want to understand the thinking behind it, the structure, what it promises, who it's really designed for.
And crucially, how it aims to help, say, business owners or marketing folks get tangible results with video.
It's like we're sitting down with these notes, you and I, just sorting through them to find the most valuable bits for you, the listener.
Yeah, pulling out the principles and the practical steps, things you might find useful regardless of this specific workshop.
And already just glancing through a few things jump out. It's a very structured 6-week thing.
Mm, very defined.
And there's a clear focus on getting a finished video, yes, but maybe more importantly, owning a repeatable process.
That repeatability seems key.
It also mentions using AI in different spots, which is, well, very current and interesting.
And there's that guarantee. We definitely need to talk about the guarantee. It's pretty striking.
Right. Seems like the whole program is set up to cut through the typical headaches of creating video for businesses.
Yeah, the delays, the budget issues, the sort of bland outcomes sometimes.
Okay, so let's start there. What's the fundamental problem this whole thing is supposed to solve, based on what we're seeing?
Well, the description puts it quite plainly. Video is essential now, especially B2B, but it often just falls flat.
How so?
Budgets spiral, production takes forever, the original creative idea gets watered down.
Until it's just sort of beige and doesn't really connect.
Exactly. And that lack of genuine connection means it doesn't really convert people or build that crucial trust.
So it's aimed squarely at those B2B folks, the
Right.
owners, the marketing leads, who are feeling that pain. Maybe they're stuck or burned out from trying before.
That's the target, yeah. People dealing with bottlenecks, maybe past video projects didn't deliver, or they're just putting out generic stuff that doesn't make an impact.
Got it. And the promise is, what? A transformation.
Kind of, from feeling overwhelmed or making forgettable videos to becoming someone who can actually lead the creation of authentic, effective video. And critically, doing it without completely outsourcing your core vision.
Keeping control of the story. That sounds appealing.
Definitely.
And that promise is backed up by that guarantee you mentioned. Let's get specific. The source says, we'll grow your revenues by $100,000 in 45 days guaranteed, or we'll continue to work with you for free until you do. Wow.
Yeah, it's bold. That really shifts the focus, doesn't it? It's not just about making a video.
No, it directly ties the video creation process to, well, actual money, revenue growth.
Which signals a very strong belief that the type of video they teach you to make authentic video directly drives business results.
And you mentioned earlier, the outcome isn't just one video. It's that repeatable process.
Right. That seems like the real long-term value they're emphasizing. You walk away knowing how to do it again.
It's the whole teach a person to fish idea applied to video production.
Exactly. Building that capability inside the business means you're not starting from zero every single time you need content.
Okay, so that paints the big picture. The problem it addresses, the transformation it promises, that significant guarantee, and the core outcome of a repeatable process. Let's get into the weeds now. The how. The 6-week outline.
Right. This breaks down the journey. It seems very methodical, moving through preparation, then production, then post-production.
Makes sense. So week 1 kicks things off with kickoff and goals alignment, foundation setting.
Totally foundational. The insight here, it seems, is that great video doesn't start with cameras or brainstorming ideas.
Where does it start then?
With getting crystal clear on your brand, the mission, the strengths, the products, and this is key, aligning all that with what your customers actually struggle with or need.
Finding that sweet spot between what you do and what they care about.
Precisely. So the topics are things like finding your unique brand tone, the right genre or style for your video, understanding how emotion plays a role.
And just figuring out where to even begin based on your business goals.
Exactly. And here's the first mention of AI. The source says they talk about using AI to sharpen and speed up your research, understanding your audience and market better, faster.
Interesting. How?
Well, it suggests using AI tools that analyze text or data. They could help you quickly see themes in customer feedback or refine your understanding of their pain points from existing materials, maybe competitor analysis too.
Makes sense. And the homework reflects that.
Yeah, the assignment is to develop a solid brief covering target audience details, pain points, interests, demographics, plus your own brand messaging and which products are driving revenue. Laying the groundwork.
Okay, week 1 sets the strategy. Then week 2 builds on that. Concept and messaging strategy.
Great. You take that week one brief, and now the focus shifts to crafting the actual narrative. An authentic story that speaks directly to those audience needs you identified and shows how your product or brand fits in.
So this is where the core story really takes shape.
It seems so. They review the briefs, offer guidance importantly, stressing the brief is a guide, not, set in stone. It's about consciously choosing what story to tell right now and committing to it.
And this is where casting starts to come in, thinking about the people.
Exactly. Starting to think about who maybe team members, maybe even customers can genuinely bring that story to life on camera.
The human element.
Right. And AI pops up again here. It mentions using AI tools to help tighten up the story outline itself, maybe even test if the story aligns with your future vision, like using ChatGPT as a sort of strategic sounding board.
Oh, okay. And the assignment?
Rate a full story outline theme, plot points, key takeaway, and create a sort of dreamcast list of potential people.
Got it. So weeks 1 and 2 are strategy and story. Week 3, interview planning. Sounds like it gets more practical.
It does. It refines the concept, but the big focus is on the people you'll film. Getting feedback on who you're thinking of interviewing.
What kind of feedback?
Things like their expertise, making sure there's diversity, but also just, are they engaging? Are they comfortable on camera? Charisma counts.
And planning the actual interview questions too, I bet.
Definitely. Not just generic questions, but ones designed to draw out those genuine, passionate, story-driven answers they keep talking about.
The authenticity factor again.
Right. Understanding who to interview for which part of the story and crafting questions that get real responses. AI gets another mention here, using it to help sharpen those interview questions, maybe making them more open-ended or more focused.
Practical stuff too, like crew.
Yep. This is where you start figuring out crew needs, equipment, logistics.
And the assignment for week 3 looks really hands-on. Mapping out a schedule, locations, hiring crew, listing visuals you need.
Identifying specific types of interviewees, engineers, leaders, etc., drafting questions, and even prepping a call sheet.
A call sheet that's like the master document for the shoot day. Who, what, where, when.
Exactly. All the contacts, the schedule. And this is also when the one-on-one coaching calls start, according to the outline. So you get personalized help gearing up for the shoot.
Okay, so strategy, story, people, and plan are locked in by the end of week 3. Week 4 must be showtime.
Pretty much. Week 4 is production, creative, and logistics. This is at the filming phase. The focus is on a final review of everything's schedule, script outline, cast before cameras roll.
And working with the crew, like the director or DP.
Yeah, there's specific advice mentioned on how to communicate with them, making sure everyone stays focused on that authenticity goal during the actual filming. Diplomacy is mentioned.
And there's that interesting support piece, the advisor being on call.
Right. The source highlights that. Having someone available during the shoot days to help troubleshoot if unexpected problems pop up, that sounds incredibly useful in the moment.
I can imagine. Things rarely go exactly to plan on a shoot.
For sure. So the assignment for week 4 is basically do the shoot, go get the interviews, gather the B-roll footage.
B-roll being all the extra shots.
Mhm.
People working, the office, product shot.
Exactly. The visual context.
Yeah.
And they encourage you to capture what you plan, but also keep an eye out for unexpected moments. Go beyond the script a bit.
Okay, shoot's done. Week 5 moves into dealing with all that footage.
Yep. Week 5, footage review and rough cut. Post-production begins. You start looking at the raw material you capture. The group session involves reviewing some footage, discussing how it fits the story, maybe surprises from the shoot.
Assessing how strong the interviews were, who really shone.
Right, and deciding who and what to feature. And here's another tech tool mention, Descript.
Ah, yes, the AI transcription tool.
Exactly. The sources point out how tools like Descript can transcribe hours of interviews in minutes, not days. That makes finding the key quotes and assembling the story from the text much, much faster.
Huge time saver. So the first assignment is
Select the best clips and create a rough assembly edit, basically stringing together the core pieces.
and then you get feedback on that assembly.
Seems so. Guidance on how to give notes to your editor, focusing on things like pacing, the story arc, the overall tone, making sure it aligns with the brand. The goal is to guide the editor towards a V1, a first complete draft, that's solid enough to show stakeholders.
And the second assignment is for the editor to actually create that V1 rough cut based on those notes.
Correct.
Okay, almost there. Week 6 is polish of visuals and story, fine-tuning time.
Exactly. This is about a second, more thorough review of the edit, incorporating all the feedback, getting final advice on, technical stuff, but also making sure it still feels authentic and has emotional impact.
The assignment here is addressing feedback, revising the edit, adding basics like graphics and music, and sharing that updated V1 for formal review.
Right. And there's a final one-on-one review session mentioned, which can actually happen up to 2 weeks after the main 6-week course ends.
Oh, that gives some flexibility for the editing timeline.
Yeah, seems practical. The assignment before that final check-in is to get to a near final cut. That means sorting out final audio levels, color grading, adjusting the visual look and feel, adding polished graphics, basically getting it ready for sign-off.
And the final guidance in that session.
It's about confirming it's ready, making any last tiny tweaks, and then crucially, getting recommendations for launching the video effectively. Where to put it, website, socials, maybe suggesting complementary content, maximizing its impact.
Making sure it doesn't just sit on a hard drive.
Right. And a really valuable point mentioned is that all the materials, the call recordings, templates like the brief and call sheet, example videos are all shared afterwards.
Like a user manual for next time.
Exactly. That directly supports that whole repeatable process outcome we talked about. You have the tools to do it again.
So that's the core 6 weeks. But the sources also mentioned something about ongoing support.
Yeah, optionally. After the main workshop, there's a monthly subscription option mentioned in one source. It includes things like a couple of 30-minute one-on-one calls each month.
More personalized help.
Right. Plus ongoing access to new content they release, the private community for peer support, and a weekly group coffee hour call focused on using video for trust and growth.
So a way to keep learning and refining if you want to really embed this capability.
Seems like it. It shows a path beyond just the initial training.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. Why is going through this level of detail useful for you, the listener?
Well, I think it demystifies what can feel like a really complex process-making video that works. It breaks it down into manageable, logical steps.
Yeah, it shows how strategy, authenticity, and the practical doing part can be woven together intentionally right from the start.
And it highlights the kinds of support group sessions, one-on-one coaching, community that can help people get unstuck or keep the momentum going.
So even if you don't do this specific program, seeing how it's designed gives you insights into what elements might be missing or could be improved in your own approach to video.
Exactly. It provides a kind of framework or checklist for success.
So this deep dive has really laid out a very structured 6-week path. It's designed to empower business and marketing folks, not just to, crank out a video.
Right. But to create authentic video that actually drives results. And maybe most importantly, to own the process so they can do it consistently.
It really feels like a blueprint for building that internal video muscle and using it strategically.
For growth.
So thinking about this whole detailed process we've just walked through, what do you think is the single biggest hurdle for your business when it comes to creating truly authentic video, the kind that actually moves the needle? Is it nailing down the right message, the one that really resonates?
Or is it maybe finding the right people inside your company or maybe customers who can tell that story genuinely on camera?
Could it be the practical side, the logistics, the technical bits of production? Or maybe it's something else. Perhaps it's confidently figuring out how to measure the real impact of that authentic video on your bottom line.
Definitely something to think about as you consider your own video strategy going forward.